Hi guys, my running kidder. How's everybody doing out there? Back again for another comic review, as always, for my fellow comic lovers out there. Was a pretty decent week. Solid as always. Never is disappointing for me in a sense. Once again, no guys, I did not. People have been saying I've dropped all my DC titles. I have not. It's just that right now, while they're in Villains Month, right now, I'll collect those, get those later on. Like I said, I'll do a Villains Month special for October, once again. Sometime October, so yeah, the ones I wanted. I did get to read some more again. I did like the Killer Frost one. That was one I was definitely looking forward to, because Killer Frost is one of my favorite DC villainous, so I did get to read that. But I got 11 books for you guys. 11 books for you guys to cover, pretty much. A lot of independent, definitely in this stash. If you didn't see my, stash haul video. And a few Marvel, only 5 actually. But let's get started, shall we? And let's kick it off with none other than Black Mass Studios, aka Liberator. This is issue number 3. We have one more issue to go for this title. Real heroes don't wear capes, they wear ski masks. Matt Miner continues to tell a very good tale between Jeanette and Guerrero. What ended on a cliffhanger. It looks like our two protagonists were going to be sent to jail, but unfortunately it didn't end that way. I'm not going to spoil how they got out of the clutches of the police, but it was very interesting. But Guerrero seems to be kind of going off half-cocked now. He's getting a little bit more aggressive in his approach to stopping, the people who are abusing animals and things like that. And he's kind of getting a little bit thick-headed. And Jeanette, right here, this character right here, has been trying to tell him, like, you gotta calm down, calm down. You're pushing it, and you can't be doing this, and you'll get us in trouble and things like that. So we get a kind of a little bit of an edginess with Guerrero now, and they're starting to get more information by their mysterious benefactor, who's giving them clues to who they're supposed to go hit, who to hit. Who's the next person who abuses animals and things to hit. But other than that, it's still a good tale. We have one more issue to go, and I give a lot of credit to Matt Miner and people at Black Mass Studios. Very good. All right, we move on to Dark Horse Comics, and this is X number 5. Dwayne Swazinski and Dustin Nugent. Dustin Nugent does the cover, and the artwork inside is done by Tony Parker. Actually, Tony Parker does the artwork, the interior artwork. X is still continuing his reign of justice, pretty much dishing out justice in the streets of Arcadia. Him and Leah are now kind of like a partnership, an unlikely partnership, and just because Leah's like, okay, you took out Berkshire, so that your job is done, and X is like, my job is never done. It's never done. These people, there's still people out there that are going to prey on the innocent, and I'm going to dish out my justice. And we get a glimpse here, basically, of the people he starts dealing with, crooked cops, in a sense, and hit women and stuff. And he sets up them pretty damn well, in a sense, and you're just like, my God, X is not joking around. But it's still just a really gritty, unfinished business, exactly what it says here. Just really gritty stuff. Dwayne Straczynski just continues to thrill us, and almost like, I can't believe he did that, like, you know, in this book. And once again, you know, this is a rebooting of a classic Dark Horse character, X. But good stuff. Alright, and we move on to Dynamite. Alright, got 3 Dynamite books for you to cover. First off, we have none other than The Shadow, number 17. I love Alex freaking Ross and the covers. I love his covers. You can't go wrong with Alex Ross. Basically here, Lamont Cranston, Shadow, and his network, they start to really track down the identity of the light assassin, or the light warrior, as she's been calling herself. Chris Robinson still does a very good job, and Giovanni Tapanto, I hope I'm saying his name right, good job, good artwork, very good. It's still all about trying to figure out who this light warrior is and why she's killing these people, what is her purpose, and everything like that. And the Shadow gets closer and closer to his you know, catching his quarry, in a sense. And we finally get the information that is needed to really kind of Shadow to really understand, like, okay, I got you now, I'm going after you, I'm going to put an end to this, and if you stop me, and if you try to stop me, then I'm going to have to take you out. Shadow realizes where she works, who she is, who this woman is. She is a nurse at a hospital. Not a nurse, a nun at a hospital. You gotta remember, this is during the 40s, 30ish time, when hospitals had a lot of nuns and things like that. And it's a great chase scene, at the end of the issue between the Shadow and the Light Warrior, until pretty much, you know, they realize, okay, enough running. We end this now. So Chris Robinson concludes this story arc in the next issue before it moves into the next story arc. But fantastic writing, a thrilling chase between the hero of light, supposedly just warrior of justice of light, and a warrior of justice of darkness, or, you know. But very, very good stuff. Very good. Tuesday now? Uh-oh. Sorry guys, saw one of my shows that's coming back, Person of Interest, moving to Tuesdays. Oh good, that's more like it. So we move on to the Spider, number 14. Great stuff here. Once again, David Liss, just fantastic job. Ivan Rodriguez's artwork is good. I wish Colton Worthy was still on it, but it's cool. Sad to say, guys, the Spider is coming to an end. The series will wrap up in issue number 18, and I'm not mad about it, because with Dynamite, their series never run that long. They never run that long because they move forward with other series. They're more like episodic series. They go a certain episode or mini-series, and then they move on to something else. But I must say, David Liss, you just did a fantastic job, and I can't wait to see how you wrap this up. But in this issue alone, we have the Spider and his arch enemy, the Fly, basically, still duking out, very much this time the Fly is in a robotic suit, like an armored suit, and you can kind of see, okay, he's in this armor-powered suit. Spider, Richard may be outmatched. No. See, Richard outthinks him, starts to outplay him, and he's able to get the Fly into a situation that it's almost like checkmate. I got you. Now you have to either fall back or I'm taking your bishop. Something like that. So, in a sense, it kind of ends that way, but still, the Fly's no dummy. He's always thinking ahead. He's like I said, he's like the Moriarty to the Spider's Sherlock Holmes. And it comes, it gets more corporate espionage than ever in this issue. And the Fly really sets up Richard really badly in this, especially by the end of the issue. I'm not going to spoil how he does it, but yeah. And it realizes that Richard Wentworth, Spider, he has to be on his A game, and he's being pushed even harder to the limit by the Fly. But very good stuff. Very good indeed. Once again, give a lot of respect and love to David List. He's just been doing a fantastic job on this series. If you want to try to catch up with the Fly, it is the few issue. I think there are some trades. There are some trades out, so you can catch up on the Spider. I'm not saying it's too late, but it's just really good stuff indeed. So we move on to the final Dynamite, and that's none other than Miss Gail Simone, Walter Giovanni on Red Sonja. I love that cover. Beautiful cover. Alright. So, what's going on with Sonja after her exile? Yeah, she's in exile right now after the last issue. And we see Sonja barely alive. She's barely surviving. She's hallucinating. She's seeing her father. We're seeing her revert back to her, seeing how her people died, her father, her brothers, everything like that. And almost to the point how she became such, almost like the she-devil that she is, in a sense. That's just her nickname. But we see she just really just hallucinating, surviving in this backwater wilderness. And even to the point, she sees quarry to kill, for sustenance, to live, but she doesn't do it. She really is just like, I can't do it. It's a beautiful white stag that she has in her sights to kill, with a bow, and she just doesn't do it. And she's just really dying. It's really bad. But Gail Simone just really has you really invested in Sonja as a character, not just the warrior-esque character, but just as a character. And she really makes you feel for Sonja in a sense of like, okay, is Sonja gonna live? How is she gonna get out of this? Will she die? Everything like that. It really paints a very good picture of what's to come and what Miss Simone has in store for us as the character of Red Sonja. Now, I won't spoil what happens in the end of the book, but let me just tell you right now, people, can't tell you. Just gotta pick it up for yourself. Red Sonja number 3. Good stuff. Alright. And we move on to New Paradigm. And let me tell you, people of New Paradigm Studios, I've been loving what you've been delivering with this title. Thank you very much. I'll just put that out there. Alright, because I know you guys kind of look forward to me reviewing this, and I appreciate that very much. I have nothing but love and respect for that, guys. You guys do basically comment on my vids when I review your stuff, and that's none other than Watson and Holmes number 3. This is issue number 3. Carl Bowler and Ricky Lenardi. I hope I'm pronouncing the names right. If I am, I'm sorry. Don't mean to butcher the names. Issue number 3 of this title. Watson and Holmes their investigations continues to prosper, but also it gets more dangerous as well. You see, what started out as just looking for a girl, it gets more. The plot thickens. We also introduced to Holmes's brother in this finally, and Holmes's brother tells Watson here about, that Holmes, there's some things about Holmes that he's not really. He goes on to say, my brother is kind of a pain in the neck, but I love him, everything like that. But you realize he's not really, he has that card, PI, but he has no kind of official investigation training or military, cop training, everything like that. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, wow, okay, they're going somewhere with this. I'm liking this. And it also makes you wonder how Watson's going to feel about this. But as always, Watson sticks with Holmes, and they continue to progress in their investigation, and it gets really dire and dire and dire to the point where it's guns blazing and it's bang bang shoot 'em up time. Not just for Watson, who is a soldier, who is a former soldier, but also now we see Holmes finally taking that lethal point of view, in a sense. Like, he has to take out a gun and like, okay, Watson, we got to do this, But just really good writing, really good stuff. I've been just so much enjoying it. It ends on a cliffhanger of like dun dun dun, because it's like, okay, are Watson and Holmes going to get out of this alive? And are they going to get out of it with their witness intact? Good stuff. Very good stuff, guys. I appreciate this very much. Just keep up the good works, people. Just keep it up. Watson and Holmes, number 3. Right. Sorry, guys. First TV spot for the next Call of Duty. For all you Call of Duty fans out there. Okay. It's still going, guys, but yeah, don't mind me. I'm kind of paying attention. Call of Duty Ghost. November 5th. Okay, back to the review at hand. We move on to Valiant. And this was another book I was looking forward to, finally. And this is none other than Eternal Warrior #1. Greg Pak is back. Greg Pak, I am a fan of Greg Pak's writing. I love his writing. His writing is really good. And this is his first title on Valiant. Artwork is done by Trevor Hairsine. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, sir. But basically, in a sense, guys, basically here we have Gilad, basically the Eternal Warrior. He's been fighting for 6 centuries. He's immortal. basically think of Highlander. That's the best way to kind of describe the Eternal Warrior. And we get a glimpse of, in here, Greg Pak gives us a really in-depth glimpse of the constant fighting and struggle for Gilead during his years of fighting. And you would think that he kinda, all these years of fighting, centuries of fighting and things like that, he would get tired, and he's tired of it, and he's enough fighting, no more. I want to die because I'm immortal. It's a curse. Things. No, he says it right here, and I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna set it out for you. He goes on to, once we see him in the modern day Africa, just surviving, for food and things like that. He goes on to say, it never stopped. Year after year, century after century, nothing but fighting. And God help me. You would think he would say, I want it to end. No, he says, I love it. And we get a glimpse of that. But also we see that Gilead, as a warrior and to his people at one point, there was kind of dysfunction in terms of his people, because he kind of walked away from it. He wanted nothing more to do with it, and that kind of put a unbalanced with his people, in a sense, as well as the how can I put it? It kind of put a balance as well in between the certain houses of the Eternal Warriors, in a sense. And one of his another fellow warrior by the name of Zaran, who kind of, in the beginning, we see that she's really bloodthirsty and kind of, it's almost like it's kill or be killed. It's kill or be killed, but also, to kill our enemies, we kill everybody, not just the men, but we wipe out the women and children. And Gilead's not like that. He doesn't do that stuff. But we kind of see that she tried to do her part and but she just made it worse. And it kind of ends right there, where we see bad things on the horizon for Gilead. And Greg Pak gets us invested into this, you know what I'm saying? So it was really good. I really enjoyed what I read here. I was looking forward to this very much. Valiant just continues to showcase their back, and they have had quite a year rebooting or rejuvenizing their universe, pretty much. Good stuff. Alright, so we move on to ZENESCOPE, and we move on to another book, once again, that I was looking forward to. Looking forward to reading something that's outside of the grim kind of universe, but just kind of more based kind of in reality. And it's called the Hit List. This is one of 5, as always. ZENESCOPE does the miniseries as well, and it's written by Ralph Tedesco, and artwork is done by Sammy Kivilla. I hope I'm saying your name right. Artwork is really good. Basically, the story is mostly about, what you could think. What you think? Hit women, hit men, hit hit people. Assassins in a sense. And we kind of get to see the sense of an assassin. She kind of goes a little too far, and she takes out her quarry, but she also kind of leaves it out in the open, and now everybody is seeing that. Everybody, the rest of the what are they called? The house of they're called the house of the Brown House of Bishops. That's what they're called. And pretty much all the other members of this house are like, what did she do? How come she did that? She's gonna expose us. That's gonna give us, people gonna start looking into it, everything like that. So it's really kind of interesting indeed. But it's a good setup point, very much. It gets you invested, very much in what's to come next from this, the outcome of what happened. And kind of violent. Yes, it is very violent. I mean, we see shots to the head, bam, no quarters asked. Like, literally, like, I'll even kind of show you one right now. Okay. There you go. Bullet right in the head. Bam! Like, must have been a hollow tip, but yeah, big time stuff. Very good indeed. Invested as much. Keep up the good work. All right, so we're ending this all with Marvel. I got 5 Marvel books for you, and the first one is Avengers 19. This is the once again, like I said, they're still celebrating 50 years of Avengers. As always, no matter who it is, I always congratulate any character that is able to last Jesus, 50 years. Congratulations to Earth's Mightiest Heroes. This was the variant cover. They have different covers, variant covers. I got the 60s version once again. Yeah, of course, yeah, Cap's not supposed to be there. We're missing the Hulk, but yeah, Cap shouldn't be there. It should just be Tony, Hank, Janet, and Thor, and the Hulk, and Bruce as the original team. Cap didn't come until issue 4, remember, but he is the heart and the soul of the Avengers, right? Correct. Okay, now that's enough about the history lesson. Alright, let's get into the book. Alright, so basically, guys, the builders in this, still continuing with Infinity, have captured Hawkeye, Cannonball, Sunspot, Captain Universe, Carol, and Starbrand, and Black, people like that. And we got to see Carol using her binary powers again, so that kind of was like a big plus. But also the fact is that these builders now, they're interested in Carol because she's a Kree-human hybrid in a sense. But the builders, we kind of get a glimpse of the Galaxy Council, all the different leaders, kind of talking about what the builders want, why are they doing this, and Cap tells them, like, okay, maybe we can help. We have somebody that we can talk to, and you have the King of Spartax, Star-Lord's father, being a dick as always, and like, we don't need to be listening to some people from some backwater planet, basically world, talking about Earth. And when they finally realize what the builders want, it is Earth. And that's when the king once again is saying, like, okay, that's why you Avengers are really here. And Cap says, yeah, you're damn right, that's why we're here, but you still get to see that the king, he's a complete dick, and he tries to make a deal with the builders, like, okay, if it's Earth you want, I'll give you Earth if you just leave our worlds alone. And you just look at it like, what a dickhead, like, good God. And the builders, they're no dummies. They knew exactly what they were doing. they were pinpointing the location of the Galaxy Council, and it kind of ends on a big cliffhanger, and it's just like, oh. But yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much what this is all about. But good writing by Jonathan Hickman, and let me see who. Leland Francis Yu does the artwork. Lynette, very good, very good. All right, and we move on to Captain America number 11. I love that cover. A beautiful cover. Sentinel of Liberty, standing tall. All right. Rick Remender still. This is just a really standalone issue. It kind of sets up what the next story arc from Rick Remender is going to be. Sets it up really well. And Carlos Pachios, I hope I'm saying your name right. Artwork is really good in this. So Cap is back in our world after 12 years. 12 years basically being stuck in Dimension Z. And at first, Rick Remender once again gives us a little bit of soliloquy of where Steve kind of gets his heart, where he gets that strength from, and it's from his mother. Once again, we backtrack 1943, Lower Manhattan, and we see, Steve, with his mother who is dying and telling him to stay strong and everything like that. And then when we go into present, we see Dr. Hank Pym and Bruce Banner working on Steve, trying to fix all his wounds and the things he's gotten in Dimension Z. And you hear Hank and Bruce, they're saying like, he's been 12 years. I can't believe he survived all, and even them and they're just like, I forget who we're talking about here, and you kind of get that sense they're removing all the alien, all the stuff that Armin Zola did to him, all the things that were in him, that were messing with his head. When they had Armin Zola had him inside of Steve, fixing that up, and Steve is dreaming about his mom and remembering when he buried her and everything like that, and it's just like, okay. We even get we even get Maria Hill coming to Steve and telling him about, giving her condolences about the death of Sharon Carter. She died in the last year. She sacrificed herself so Steve can get back to home, and she's telling him, yeah, my condolences, Steve, and everything like that. And in the meantime of that, we have Nick Fury Jr. I'll never get used to saying that, but he's interrogating Armin Zola's daughter, Jet Black, as you can see here. And he's trying to get down, so he's like, okay, if I'm going to give you amnesty to Armin Zola's daughter, I need info. What are your superpowers? What can you do? And she's telling him all this stuff, and she's saying, I got sensitive skin, I can hear everything, I can hear the blood flow and everything like that. I love the line she said, I can smell the fear, and I love when she said, I can hear an insect, I can hear an insect on the other side of the world. I can hear the distinguishing transmission. I can hear your heart strong and level. I can hear the blood flowing into inside your brain, flowing to a section related to attraction. I love that line. She's like, you tie up women, interrogate and break them down. You tell yourself it's just part of your job, but that's not all it is. There's something else, another reason. And Nick's like, and he's like, and what would that be? And she just smiles at him like, yeah, you like to tie women up. You like that hardcore S&M stuff. So I thought that was really funny. And of course, we see Steve taking her back to his old high, place of, where he used to lay his hat down in Brooklyn, his secret location underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. Sorry about that. Under the Brooklyn Bridge, and that's really fun. But then, of course, like I said, Miranda sets up what's coming next, and we got Nuke back in the situation. He's in Europe somewhere, just going all crazy. He's taking more drugs, and he's flipping out, things like that. And that's where Jet Black and Steve really have this really good conversation back at his home, and she sees all these different things of Steve, like old paper clips and all his different costumes, almost like you can kind of say that this is like Steve's Batcave in a sense. I'll show you. Here it is. Steve's, like, his Batcave, all the different shields and things like this. And Jet Black is basically saying, you talk about moving on and putting your past behind you, but you got all this stuff, all these things to remind you of your past. And Steve is like, you're right. So what does Steve do? I'm gonna spoil this for you guys. He takes all that memorabilia and he burns it as a means of starting over fresh. And I thought that was really interesting that Miranda would do that and be like, that really kind of set you on a side and say, okay, he may be the super soldier, the World War II hero, and all this, the man out of time and things like that, but now he understands, okay, I have to start all over. This is my home now, and I start fresh. Yeah, good stuff, very good indeed. All right, and we move on to Fearless Defenders. Fearless Defenders, this is number 9. Okay, the covers, I always love the covers to this book. Now we have an anime-esque feel to it. In this issue alone, we're dealing with, Cullen Bunn takes the girls, and they're dealing with the Doom Maidens, some, I guess, new version of the Doom Maidens, who happen to be Quicksand, Ruby Thursday, I'm not joking about that name, the Enchantress, not the original Enchantress, not Amara, a teenage version of Enchantress, and they're dealing with what's going on, as well as, and then in an Irish pub called the Lucko the Irish pub, Lucko the Irish pub, we have Hercules, Iron Fist, Venom, Cannonball, Doctor Strange, Nate Gray, and Jack Russell, the Werewolf by Night, in there, supposed to be having a party with the girls. Some of them are boyfriends of the characters, and they're all talking about how Valkyrie started this new team and Defenders, and maybe they can help, and they're feeling as if, in a sense, that they can't do it alone. And since Doctor Strange has experience with Defenders, he's been a Defender, he's one of the founding members of the Defenders, it's kind of, he has experience with it. Cleo, who is his wife, is a part of it, and it's kind of interesting, and all these characters have it. Flash Thompson, aka Venom, is going on talking about it's kind of weird for him and Valkyrie, in a sense, because of the fact that that when they're getting it on, Annabelle comes out and she kind of spoils everything, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, Annabelle, like, I respect that you crush hard on Valkyrie, but she does have a boyfriend, and come on, but it's funny though, and they're just constantly kind of bickering, and the bartender, was a superhero herself, she goes by the name of Shamrock, I think that was her name, yeah, and she goes on to talk about, you guys are really kind of stupid, like, You're bugging because of the fact that your girlfriends now have their own superhero team, and you guys don't want them to do it. You think that, they can't do it alone without some help, and, they're kind of like, no, that's not. And she's like, yeah, it is. And in a sense, you kind of can agree with Shamrock. You're like, yeah, it is. You guys just don't think they can do it alone. They have to have some men on the team. Nah, it ain't like that. And it's kind of funny because they constantly keep razzing on Sam Guthrie Cannonball, like, why are you here? And things like that. But it's really fun. It was just a really fun title, and I did like the ending of it. And I thought it was really funny where Cleo was like, when they finally meet up with everybody, and Cleo said, "Steven, it's good to see you again. I want a divorce." I was like, oh shit. But yeah, it was good. This was really good, as always. Cullen Bunn still does a very good job on the title. It was kind of interesting because I thought Danny and Misty kind of were on a break, especially because of what happened between Misty and Danny. Misty said she was pregnant with his child, and it wasn't. It was just an essence of Danny's chi that was in the form of a child in her, and she kind of didn't tell him about that, and so he kind of felt a little. They was like, we need to call it quits for a while. But it looks like they're back together. I'm fine with that. I always did love their relationship, and it was just a really good book, very good indeed. All right, Mighty Avengers #1. This is Volume 2 of Mighty Avengers. So good to see Luke back. Thank you very much. So good to see Luke. So good to see Monica Rambeau. Al Ewing. I've read his Avengers work and I like it. You know how I feel about. Yeah. So we don't need to go into that. But despite that, this was a good read. Very good read. Luke has really come full circle as a character. Why? He's doing it. This didn't really feel like an Avengers book. It felt more like a Heroes for Hire book. And it's kind of funny because that's what Luke has been doing ever since he left the Avengers. He restarted the Heroes for Hire. He has to make a living. He even says a hero can't stop being a hero. But he's a hero for hire, and he is, along with Victor Alvarez, the new Power Man, and Ava Della. Oh, God damn it! I'm forgetting her. How am I forgetting her name? I love the White Tiger legacy. God damn it! I apologize for not remembering her last name, but Ava White Tiger, basically. They're graduates of the Avengers Academy in a sense, but they're dealing with what's going on, and unfortunately they run into Ock in the beginning, and when Luke is even saying, man, you're getting worse and worse, because he's like, wait, now what do you call yourself now? When Ock even says Superior Spider-Man, Luke is like, you're getting worse, man. Like, what is wrong with you? Everybody's starting to say that, and Ock is just trashing Luke and them and saying you're mercenaries. You work for money. It's not supposed to be that way. And maybe he has a point, but Luke hasn't. Even when he started the Heroes for Hire, even when he started out as being, he never took money from anybody. But Luke, he has a family to provide for now. He has family, that's his world now. But it's kind of funny because White Tiger, she has a lot of respect for Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man. She doesn't know that this is not Peter Parker Spider-Man, because Spider-Man helped her solve her family's, one of her family's death. So she has a lot of respect for him, and she kind of quits early on. because she even says it. She even says it, and I'll even show it to you right now. She basically says is that Spider-Man's right. I didn't put the mask on for a paycheck. You know, I became the White Tiger to honor my family and make a difference in the world. That means that has more to me than guarding crates. And you got Victor Alvarez, who I really am surprised at, who hasn't really grown in character anymore. He's still kind of the obnoxious little, you know, kind of street urchin. You know, kind of like, yo, you spent all this time with Iron Fist, you still haven't learned anything. Like, what is wrong with you? And Luke even starts to admit, like, you know what? There is more to this. Like, and then we get a really good reintroduction of Monica Rambeau, aka Photon, aka Captain Marvel, now who's going under the name of Spectrum and everything like that. And she's chasing this guy, this speedster, through town called Blue Streak, as you can see right here. And she's like, there's something that actually, she's like, that he's like, yeah, nobody can touch me. And here come Monica right beside him in her light form, basically, actually there's something I'm faster than you. Light is faster. And you see them racing through the streets of Manhattan, and she just snaps her finger and blows him up, kind of. And of course you're gonna get the orgasmic smiles, but I like her costume. It is an amalgamation of her classic 70s or 60s 80s look, so it's really cool. And we really get a sense of Luke as a character in this. But in the meantime, it is Thanos who sends one of his cohorts of the Black Order, Proxima Midnight, because Avengers not on Earth. It's an Avengerless Earth, so she comes down and is like, just dishing out a lot of pain and destruction to the streets of Manhattan. And we get a sense of, okay, she's like, okay, the Avengers are gone, so I can do what I want. But unfortunately, that's not the clue. We do have some other heroes here, including this hero, somebody called Spider Hero. I'm not joking. But he seems to know Monica, but we don't get his identity. Now, I do not believe this is Miles Morales. I'm sorry, it can't be. No way is that him. Because there's some clues that just really doesn't add up about it. But when Ock sees that, he is like pissed off. But definitely Luke is like, okay, that's how. Okay, you want Avengers, lady? Take a good look. We're the Avengers. So it kind of sets up pretty well. Al Ewing sets up pretty dang well for this. I can't wait to see when She-Hulk and Falcon and when White Tiger and Victor comes back and the new Ronin, and I cannot wait to see when Blue Marvel comes on board. What a powerhouse he is. But this was very good reading for me. I did enjoy that. And why do I support it? You're looking at it. And we're going to end this bad boy on X-Men number 5. It's chapter 3 of Battle of the Atom. And Brian Woods, and we have David Lopez doing the artwork. Very good artwork. Still trying to track down young Psyche and young Jeannie. We now get there's more into this of the reason why Jean wears the Zorn mask. Future Jean. I don't want to spoil too much, but it does have to do with her powers. And they need to track down the kids, but unfortunately, they don't have Blackbird no more. So what do we get introduced to? We get introduced to what young Beast and older present Beast has been working on. The Dove. the Dove is the new one of their new plane. It's really cool, and Jean and Cyclops are just trying to stay one step ahead of the gang, but future Jean and Xavier's grandson are kind of really hitting young Jean with a lot of strong psychic attacks, in a sense that they're breaking down her mental walls really fast, and so they're able to track them down really fast. And in a sense, we also get to see that Rachel and Kitty are kind of not really okay with sending the kids back, because especially Rachel, she comes from another future as well, where she was like a slave. She used to track down other mutants and things like that. So you can understand that. But it really gets really interesting, and it also shows you that, okay, they don't want to do it, but they might have to. And Jean and them was like, young Jean and young Psych is like, okay, we need help. Can't we call the Avengers? And then she's like, Psych, Scott, the Avengers will want to send us back too. We need other help, and I think I know who. And they kind of showcase at the end, which I'm not going to spoil, but you guys should already know. But there is a scene where pretty much Cyclops shoots Beast with his optic blast right in the face. I'm not even going to lie about that. I don't know how Beast survived, but I guess because this is younger Cyclops. And then, of course, there's kind of an impromptu argument between Rachel and the gang, and, things like, and, Kitty's like, okay, what the hell is going on here, and she's like, okay, 2 kids, way to go, Headmistress. And, a lot of them are like, Kitty, you didn't see what happened at first. And, basically, Rachel was kind of getting on future Jean, and there's like, you're hitting them with, like full telepathic attacks and things like that. And so you got Psylocke even saying to, basically, to Rachel, like, don't get all superior, Rachel. You drove the Hummingbird right into future Iceman, like, and like he can't take it. And then you got Kitty, like, and you Wolverine, and Wolverine's like, me what? What did I do? Like, and it's really funny, and Jean and them get away again. They get away again, which is so funny. But the last thing I need is dissension in the ranks of the X-Men again. I don't need that. But I know Kitty and Rachel, they doing what's best, but it's also like they were trying to tell him, like, Kitty, you didn't see Cyclops shot Beast in the face, shot him right in the face, and things like that. And so Kitty, she's got that motherly instinct of trying to keep them safe, and I get that, but still, it was really funny, especially at the end. I love that. And you, Wolverine, and he's like, me what? I didn't do anything, which was so funny. Just really good. Chapter 3 of Battle Atom was really good. Next issue will kick off in Uncanny X-Men 12. I'll probably read that in store because I don't read Uncanny X-Men, but definitely, Gabi does, so he'll review that. But I'll read it in store just to get a gist of what's going on. And yeah, so far so good. Battle of the Atoms has been really good. We have 7 more chapters to go, which is gonna lead all the way up into the final, into October. So yeah, good stuff indeed, very good indeed, and yeah, good indeed. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. This is Marvin Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. As always, follow me everywhere, follow all the Dark Avenger Inc. family, me mentor, FatStakeofComics, Mark and Chloe, everybody, you name it. Just follow everybody, guys. You won't be disappointed. And once again, I'll see you guys next week as God willing, as always. And ta-ta for now.